You're listening to Reading Between the Lines with your host, Drew Parker.
Self-destruct sequence activated.
This is the RBTL podcast with your host, Drew Parker. That is me and my co-host over there, John Sterritt. Go ahead and say what's up.
What's up, what's up?
What's up, what's up is correct.
Another week.
Another week of sadness, but it's fine. We are brought to you today by two sponsors now.
All right.
Blue Apron, which is a home delivery service, farm fresh meals, comes right to your door, step-by-step instructions, anywhere from 30 to 40-minute cook time. It's super easy, super simple. If you have the time and if you don't have the time and you have the money, it's a great service for you. We're also brought to you today by Select Staff, which is a local. I don't know if they're local, but I just know them from Lubbock.
Okay.
They're an employment agency who helps you find jobs. If you're ever hurting for one or you need one, you just go in there, sign up for them, give them all your information, fill out all those long forms and whatnot, and then they
help you out.
They put you in the database and they call you back with whatever job is available. They never charge a job seeker to find employment. So they're a really good service. I've used them before. I've gotten a job through them, 2 jobs through them actually. So I recommend that for anybody who is unemployed or seeking employment. Other than that, you can find this podcast, either you're listening to this right now, you know where you're finding this, but you can also find this on iTunes, SoundCloud, Facebook, and John's YouTube page.
JOHNSTARRETT. Search that on YouTube, Texas Tech Red Raiders.
Boom, bada bing, bada bing. I said that backwards, that's fine. And ready to kick things off, John?
All right, this is MLB Playoff Talk.
All righty. Game 7 tonight. All decks on hand. We got...
All hands on deck?
Yeah, whatever. Tell it's already going to start.
Hands on deck, decks on hand. Yeah, we're good.
All decks on hand. I'm going to go with that from now on. World Series, Game 7, Dodgers versus Astros. Tied up 3 games apiece for anybody who's following it. I've been following it. Game 7 is tonight, November 1st. Tonight is Wednesday, depending on what day you're listening to this.
Happy No Shave November.
Yes, I am not doing that because I will kill myself.
Yeah, that's too much. I don't know if I'll make it, but yeah.
First pitch is 7:20. It'll probably be starting by the time we finish with this podcast. Go Stros. My only thing on that. I believe, I don't know who's starting for Houston, but I don't know. You Darvish is starting for the Astros, if not for the Astros, for the Dodgers.
I wanted to say his name started with an M. I wanted to say like Musgrove or something. Sure. I don't know the
Casey Musgraves. Hey-o. Sorry, country music.
I don't think so. That would be very interesting.
But I'm interested in this game. I think all the stats point to the Dodgers in this game, but I have a feeling the Astros are going to take it. And that's not just me being a Texan and talking out of my heritage.
You think the Astros are going to take this?
I think so. The numbers don't point that way because they play their defense can't seem to wake up on the road. But
okay, it's Lance McCullers Jr.
There we go.
Who's
okay.
pitching
Thank you,
tonight.
Micah.
I remember he was warming up at the end of the last game last night.
Okay.
And that some people were kind of concerned, like, what's happening here? But that was just his pregame, I guess, ritual.
Anybody watch the video? This is Micah. He's weird, and I like him.
Yeah, he's just chilling in the background.
Anybody watching the radio? If we have an awkward pause, and then we have an answer out of the blue, it's probably because he fact checked us.
Yeah, if you're watching the radio, try listening.
If you're watching the radio, I want to master that talent of watching world I can't see. Anyway, but you Darvish is starting for the Dodgers today. I think that they might go. Who's that guy with the curly hair? Black guy.
Which one? Like their closer?
Their reliever, yeah.
Kenley, something like that.
Kenson.
This is how prepared we are. We are talking about football most of the podcast.
What I'm trying to say is that I think
Kenley Jensen. I feel like
that's who it is. Yes, there we
like
go.
That.
Just mixed up his first and last name. No big deal.
Kenley Canson.
I think if the Dodgers, I was talking to Mike about this on our drive over here, is that if the Dodgers can get through 5 scoreless innings, the Astros are in trouble. The Astros have got to score early and often.
I mean, they rely a lot on home runs, so if they don't get any early, it might kill them.
And I think they're going to go Darvish for the first. I think they're going to ask. I think they're going to ask for about an inning and a half out of Jensen, and then they might go to Kershaw. And Kershaw closing.
Yeah, it sounds like
I haven't seen him in the closing position, but I mean, anytime you utter the name Kershaw, people get a little scared, obviously.
Yeah.
But I think if the Astros take it, it'll be a high-scoring affair. But I don't have a score prediction because that's not why we're here. But I think the Astros will take it tonight. And for all you people who are not baseball fans and want to skip the beginning of every podcast because you're not a baseball fan, this is the last time. Well, we'll talk about who won last week or next week. But this will be one of the last baseball podcasts until Tech starts up.
Yeah,
so,
the first almost half hour probably or more is until we get to NCAA football. So,
other than that, unless you have any little tidbits, I'm ready for some NFL talk.
All right, this is NFL Talk with Drew Parker. Go ahead.
Alrighty. Well, Cowboy fans, we saw a heck of a game. I didn't actually watch it because I was coming back from a mission trip. Shout out Houston. But the Cowboys beat the Redskins 33-19 to improve to 4-3 on the season. Second place in the NFC East behind the Eagles at 7-1. Prescott went 14 for 22 for 143. Zeke went 33 for 150 and 2 touchdowns. Bryant was. We have not had the receiving core production lately that we're used to because Bryant was our top receiver for 4 for 39. Defense, Sean Leavis had 9 total tackles, 5 solo.
It still gets you.
Well, I love cracking myself up. I did a lot. Skandrick had 8 total tackles, 7 solo, 1 for loss. And Xavier Woods, a name that I haven't seen on the stat sheet a name I haven't seen prominent on the stat sheet in a while. Had 5 total tackles, 4 solo. It's a good game. I didn't watch it, but the game was sealed by a pick 6 in the final minute. It was, from what I can see from Zeke's stats, he was dominating, but I don't know what was going on, why they couldn't stop the Redskins or whatever, but the Redskins had the ball in their hands, able to tie the game or go in overtime, and they just, Cousins threw a pick 6. I believe it was to Byron Jones, but I don't have that checked, which you don't need to check that, Micah. That's just me thinking off the dome.
He's not even listening. That's
great.
All right.
That's how our friendship is usually.
That's how he stays around.
Some overall game stats. Third down efficiency. Dallas went 5 for 14. Washington went 4 for 13. Total yards. Dallas had 307. Washington at 285. Red zone efficiency. I think this is why we didn't blow them away because we only went 2 for 5 on red zone efficiency when they went 2 for 3. Penalties.
Yeah, that's a rough place.
Penalties went 8 for 39 for Dallas and 5 for 32 for the Redskins. Turnovers 3-1. Dallas had a fumble, and the Redskins had 2 fumbles and a pick. Obviously, the pick 6 at the end of the game.
Anytime you get that, gives you some momentum for sure.
Dallas won the time of possession. No surprise because Zeke was eating and feasting, and it was a freaking buffet for him. Time of possession went 33-19 for Dallas and 26-41 for the Redskins. In other news, I'm sure y'all have anybody who has the ESPN app or cares about sports to any stretch of the imagination knows that Zeke's suspension for 6 games has been upheld yet again.
It's a big story for sure.
The NFLPA has filed another emergency injunction in order for Zeke to be able to play, but things aren't looking good because obviously we're talking about him still not playing on a Wednesday, and there isn't a whole lot of time for things to still happen.
Yeah, so as of now, he wouldn't be playing the next 6 games.
And if Zeke's suspension holds up, even with the emergency injunction, he'll miss the following games: home against the Chiefs, at the Falcons, home against the Eagles, home against the Chargers, home against the Redskins, and at the Giants. And I'll go through some of my just quick thoughts. Home against the Chiefs, without Zeke is a toss-up, honestly. The Chiefs are a good team, but I think in the core of the team, so are the Cowboys. And I think that without Zeke, and with it being in Jerry World, that's going to be a toss-up, close game. Obviously, I hope the Cowboys take it, but I couldn't tell you.
And so who would you think gets the bulk of the carries? Because they have
probably McFadden. I would imagine.
Who's the other guy?
No, actually, just kidding. Morris.
Morris. Okay.
What's his first name? I always forget his first name. But he's an old Redskins running back.
That'd be.
His first name's killing me now. But Morris. The other game, the game 2 he'd be missing was at the Falcons. Without Zeke, I'd say it's a toss-up, but I would lean towards a loss. The Falcons are obviously a good team because they just went to the Super Bowl last year, but they're not playing with the consistency that they were last year. They're sitting there, I believe, at 3-3 or 4-3. So they're stumbling out of the gates a little bit. But it would still be tough to go to their stadium and beat them regardless. Home against the Eagles, without Zeke, it'd be a loss. I don't care if it's at home. The Eagles are really good, and they just got better because I was going to touch on this a little bit later, but I guess I'll bring it up now. They just got a huge trade from the Dolphins for J.A. Ajayi.
That's a familiar name.
Actually, I don't think it's J.A. I think it might just be J. Ajayi. But he hasn't had the production big time this year, but he was a huge monster for their offense last year, and so the best team in the NFC just got better, which is kind of scary. Home against the Chargers would be the fourth game. Without Zeke, that's a win. Chargers aren't a good team. I mean, the world knows that, and it being a Jerry world, I think we take that no matter what. Home against the Redskins. Without Zeke, it's a toss-up. We beat them, obviously, this week in FedEx Field with Zeke. So at home without, I don't know. I would lean to, I'd lean to a win regardless because that's my team. But I think that would be a toss-up also. And at the Giants, kind of like home against, kind of like how we beat the Redskins on the road with Zeke, but at home against the Redskins, I don't know. Same with the Giants. We beat the Giants at their stadium with Zeke, but I think them coming home to face us without Zeke, I think it'd be a toss-up also. So a lot of uncertainty for Cowboy fans right now, and obviously when you have 6 games and 3 of those are divisional opponents, it's a pretty crucial stretch in terms of what tiebreakers might add up to.
Yeah. So what would you say the score? The final record for the Cowboys would be at the end of this year. If you had to guess right now, like what would be their final win?
Before the season started, I went down as I think 10-6 with the wild card. We're sitting at 4-3. Had 6 more games. 9. My hunch says still 10-6.
Okay.
But
you'd be okay with 10 or 9?
I don't think 9 makes the playoffs.
You don't think 9 would?
In the NFC, I don't think 9 makes the playoffs.
Yeah, you're right. That's a possibility. So you think they need 10?
Right. But like I touched on before, the next game for the Cowboys or Chiefs at the Cowboys, 3:30 Sunday, November 5th. And I think without Zeke, that's a toss-up. I'm not even going to say because I would be scaring myself. I said it was a win. As for some other interesting scores from the rest of the NFL, the Rams over the Dolphins, 40-0.
Oh, I saw that.
That was sad.
That's rough. Because do they still have Jay Cutler?
No, he got hurt. Matt Moore's in there now.
So he got injured, and then that's what I thought. And then the backup obviously had not been playing well.
Right. Bills over the Raiders, 34-14. That's kind of surprising because the Bills are better than we expected, but the Raiders with Derek Carr, I thought were going to come back, but they just haven't shown that resilience yet. We got Bengals over Colts. Again, not a crazy game to talk about, but just the fact that the Colts can't seem to win no matter who they face. Falcons over the Jets. The Jets, their record might not show because they've lost some close games, but the Jets are better than anybody thought they were going to be. I went down on record saying that they might be 0-16.
Yeah, I remember hearing that.
And the Falcons, again, like I said, the Falcons are a toss-up in terms of not having Zeke because if it's hard to beat the Jets, then you got some issues. Eagles over the 49ers, 33-10. Eagles are scaring me. Again, it's easy to get hot at the beginning of the season and then not be able to finish it off towards the end of the season.
Yeah, a lot of teams that run on that momentum or run on that adrenaline almost seem to fade off.
And then we got Chiefs over the Broncos. I believe that was a Monday night game. Chiefs are clearly good. They're playoff bound in my opinion, unless they have a weird collapse. Broncos, when the Broncos played the Cowboys, we thought they had everything figured out. The defense was able to stop a freight train, it seemed like, and their offense was productive back then when they played the Cowboys. But if the Cowboys played this Broncos team now, I think the Cowboys would take them because they hit a slump here recently.
Yeah, it looked like they were world beaters, then all of a sudden they just started falling apart.
Granted, the Chiefs are good, so it's not a loss to slouch on, but the Broncos are not what they were. As for your hometown team, Seahawks over the Texans, 41-38.
Man, I'm just so surprised. Deshaun Watson keeps playing so well. He
balls out.
He keeps playing for his city. He's killing it. And then somehow this number 2 overall rated defense from last year. Well, I guess they have had a few key injuries as well. But I mean, they've just been giving up so many points.
Again, I didn't watch this game, but I heard from everybody it was the game of the weekend. Really? It was so competitive.
I mean, going into Seattle, Just like
Did you hear what Richard Sherman told ESPN or something like that?
yeah, something along the lines of Watson was one of the best quarterbacks
yeah.
he's seen in a long time.
And I think Russell Wilson said give him the MVP right now.
That's crazy.
Yeah, and that's high praise coming from one of the best QBs in the league and one of the best corners in the league.
Yes.
So
a cornerback who likes to smack talk receivers and all that stuff too.
Right.
But to give that much respect to Watson, a young
for sure.
He looked. There was a lot. I watched some of the highlights, especially, and he had a lot of Mahomes-esque plays.
Oh yeah, I thought the same.
There's
thing.
like crazy escapability. The one where he was being wrapped up at the legs, escaped 2 tackles inside the pocket, and then fired it as he was getting tackled was very Mahomes-esque.
Every time I see Deshaun Watson succeeding, I just get sad for the Browns because the Browns could have had him.
They could have had so many good quarterbacks.
I mean, Wentz and you pass on Wentz and Watson.
Yeah, I saw that
how
as well.
sick to your stomach? How sick to your stomach are you if you're the Browns? You can't catch a day.
You could make an argument that if either of those quarterbacks went there, they wouldn't have the success either.
I think Watson would be better than Kaiser, but still, you are on the Browns.
That's true. I mean, that it's just one of those things that history keeps repeating itself.
I got some interesting games of Week 9 and then some playoff picture for you. Interesting games of Week 9. Bills at the Jets. That'll just be an interesting game because in my opinion, both teams are kind of playing at the same caliber as each other. So it'll be interesting to see who prevails there. That's Thursday night. Buffalo at the Buffalo. What? Oh, I'm sorry. That's the line. I didn't. Okay, I messed up. Buffalo's a 3-point favorite in that game. I think that's pretty accurate. Rams at the Giants. LA is a 3.5-point favorite, which the Rams are for real. So it'd be interesting to see if they cover this line or not. Because if they're who I think they are, they will.
Yeah, for the most part, they've shown that this season.
Right. Broncos at the Eagles. Philly is minus 8.5. I hope they lose. The Cowboy fans need the Eagles to lose so bad. Granted, that's a long season, but you got to start losing at some point if you're going to catch up. Falcons at the Panthers. That'll be a heck of a game. I don't know if that's a primetime game, but Carolina is a 1-point favorite currently. Bengals at the Jags. I'm looking forward to seeing if the Jags can shut down a bad team and play up to their potential. Redskins at the Seahawks. Seahawks are minus 7.5 favorite. It's just interesting to see. I don't know what the Redskins are yet. But we'll certainly find out when they have a tough road test. And then the marquee game on Monday night, Lions at the Packers. Detroit is a 2.5 favor. Without Aaron Rodgers, it won't be as as novel. It won't have as much of a novelty as it would, but I think it'll still be a good game. As for some quick playoff picture, if the season ended right now, the AFC would look like this. The teams who would get the bye week would be the 1-seeded Steelers and the 2nd-seeded Chiefs. And then after that, it'd be the 3rd-seeded Patriots, 4th-seeded Titans, 5th-seeded Bills, and 6th-seeded Jags. As for some NFC, the teams of the bye week would be the 1st-seed Eagles, the 2nd-seed Vikings. After them would be the 3rd-seed Seahawks, 4th-seed Saints, a lot of S's there. 5th seed Rams and 6th seed Panthers. As I mentioned earlier, 2 big trades happened since we podcasted last. Jay Ajayi from the Dolphins to the Eagles and Jimmy Garoppolo from the Patriots to 49ers.
Yeah,
which shocked me.
And then the Texans get rid of one of their tackles as well, their OTs as well.
I didn't see that.
I think it was Dwayne Brown. They got rid of him.
Okay.
Well, basically, he wanted more money, and they just said no.
Right.
Which is crazy. I think he's been in the Pro Bowl for quite a few years.
Okay.
I'm like, that sucks. And I think maybe it was Stephen A. Smith said, like, that's a trade that doesn't make any sense. Basically, they said, no, we're not going to give you the money. And he said, okay. And so they traded him.
Right. And then before we get into some college football talk, let me plug our sponsor again. We're brought to you by Slick Staff today. It's a I don't know how national what they are, but they're as far as I know, they are a local Lubbock employment agency. You go in there, fill out all your forms, fill out all the fun stuff, and then they will spit out an employment for you. I've gotten 2 jobs through them. I got a job, overnight job. No, I got my job at Jason's Deli through them, and I got my job at where I'm currently working through them, Spears Furniture. Shout out to Select Staff. Thanks for paying us. As for that, let's get into some college football talk.
All right, let's start off with the NCAA rankings.
Alrighty. Well, the first college football playoff rankings came out Tuesday night, and they are as follows. Georgia's number 1. Bama's number 2. Alabama, that is. If y'all don't know who Bama is.
Yeah, Georgia over Bama for the first. I mean, it's the first
Right.
week, but
Notre Dame is
cool.
3. Clemson is 4. John, what are your thoughts?
Just on the top 4.
Yeah.
I need to see more from Clemson and Notre Dame, but
Right.
also at the same time, I also need to see more from all these other teams
I'm
that are
I'm
on the
surprised
cusp.
Clemson's up there, but when I say that, I don't know who else would be in their spot.
Notre Dame has a lot of big games coming up.
They do. I think if Notre Dame runs the tables, they're going to be in.
Oh, for sure. You can't hold them out. They're already at number 3.
Right.
You can't hold them out if they win out.
What I was waiting for was to have them put Oklahoma above Ohio State, even though they beat Ohio State. I was waiting for that so bad. I don't think the committee had the balls to do that though, because they knew they were getting a lot of heat for that.
Yeah, whenever there's a head-to-head matchup and they're right in the same area of ranking.
Now let me ask you this: obviously Georgia and Clemson have to play each other, but this is I love chaos. I have a chaotic life. Okay, jokes.
And sports is my escape.
That's a lot. Boy, I wish it was that way. But I love chaos in terms of sports talk because it just feeds the fire that is the media.
I feel like it's more exciting when there is some sort of chaos or upsets and stuff like that.
You got Georgia and Bama from the SEC at 1 and 2. Notre Dame from an independent.
Yeah.
They're not in a conference, and then Clemson 4. So Georgia has to play Bama in the SEC championship if it comes to that, which it looks like it will.
So you're saying, okay, I think I know where you're going with this.
So let's say Georgia loses to Bama by a field goal. It's a close game the whole way around, just a 60-minute battle.
Okay.
And Notre Dame runs the table. They should get in.
Okay.
And then let's say, I don't know. Let's throw Ohio State in there just for fun, because I don't think Clemson's gonna. Well, you know what? No, we'll take it as it is now. Let's say Clemson stays at 4. No,
somebody has to be changed.
Let's drop Clemson out of there for this discussion purposes. If you have Georgia and Bama in the top 2 and Notre Dame, you have 2 SEC and an independent, and then you have 4 more Power 5 conferences fighting for 1 spot.
Yes.
That's nuts.
But if Georgia were to lose to Alabama in that game,
by close, I don't think they'd drop out.
But if you put them at 4, they're playing back-to-back games against each other, which I don't think the playoff committee is going to like.
I don't think Georgia drops out if it's a close game against Bama.
I'm saying they'd have to be ranked 3rd. They couldn't be ranked 4th, or else they'd play back-to-back against Bama.
Can you imagine if the committee said, "Oh, Georgia, I know I get you're 11-1, or no, I get that you're 12-1, and your one loss is by 3 points to the best team in the country." You can't tell me that Georgia's not one of the 4 best teams in the nation. You can't.
Yeah, exactly. But at the same time, if they're in, they'd have to be at 3 if Bama's at 1. Does that make sense? Because they're not. I don't think they're going to put them back-to-back games.
And if Notre Dame runs a table, I could see Notre Dame being as high as 2. So it could be Bama, Notre Dame, Georgia. And then who knows? And then again,
who knows?
You have chaos. It is 4 Power 5s fighting for 1 spot, which is going to. Hopefully, you pray for this, but I don't know if it actually happens. You pray that the committee doesn't use politics and media views to their advantage.
I mean, a bigger program, a bigger fan base might have a little bit of an edge if it's a splitting hairs decision.
Just for the chaos purposes and just to piss off Sooner fans, I hope Ohio State gets in above Oklahoma. I'm not an Ohio State fan by any means, but I would love to see some pissed off Sooners. I would love it. I mean, you go to
coming off of last week.
You go to Ohio State and dominate them for 4 quarters, and they get in ahead of you. I would laugh my tail off.
Well, I mean, the last time there was a last-second decision of Ohio State, they were 4th in the thing, and that was the first year that they had the playoff, and they came back to win the whole thing.
True.
So, we were like, yeah, why? Well, Ohio State doesn't belong to be in. Maybe it was TCU, maybe it was Baylor, but they put Ohio State in, they won the whole thing. So sometimes that historic
all you needed
program,
is a chance. Right.
Yeah, all they needed was a chance, and so. If Ohio State is in at number 4 at the end of the year, they have a legitimate chance. Not like some teams that you feel like might sneak in at some point.
I don't know if anything's better than a pissed off Sooner. I really don't. But as for the rest of the top 10, sooner or later you're gonna tank. Am I right?
I sure hope so.
When Baker leaves, you will.
Against an unranked Iowa State team wasn't worse.
Which. I'll get into them later, but that's stuff.
That's some crazy stuff happening there.
As for the rest of the top 10, it is as follows: Oklahoma at 5, Ohio State at 6, Penn State at 7, TCU at 8, Wisconsin at 9, and Miami at 10.
So Wisconsin fans were not happy, and I think
and Miami
fans weren't happy
because Miami dropped 2 spots.
Because when you are completely
undefeated
at this point in the season, teams they want
But
some more recognition.
it's the teams with good losses and good wins. Oklahoma is going to ride that Ohio State victory as long as they can. Ohio State is going to, I don't know what they're going to claim, but Ohio State has the pedigree in terms of the national TV networks.
Background the past few years of being in it.
Penn State just has the underdog scrappy mentality, which we'll get to the Ohio State Penn State game in a minute. But TCU still sitting at number 8, Wisconsin 9, Miami 10. As for some other notables, Oklahoma State is still at 11. They can't seem to break the top 10 again. Virginia Tech, which is a good Virginia Tech team, which has potential. I don't know who they play for the rest of the season, but they have potential to make some noise. They're sitting in at 13. Iowa State. Can you believe it? Sitting in at 15 nationally.
Yeah, so does it change the AP poll whenever the college football playoff put in theirs?
Yes.
So that flipped it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, I don't have the official for all of those, but I know before then, OU was ranked 8, TCU was 10th, OSU was 11, Iowa State 14, West Virginia was basically the first one out and receiving votes.
Because the AP comes out Sunday afternoon.
Okay, so...
So I'm wrong.
So they don't...
I thought that the AP came out. AP comes out on Sunday, and the college football playoff ranking comes in at Tuesday. I thought it just counteracted each other. Because after you get the playoff rankings, why does the top 4 in the AP matter? It doesn't. That's why I just change them out.
Yeah, maybe that's something they expect to continue for the rest of the season.
Well, I'm going to claim that I'm right and edit this part out. No, I'm kidding.
But they are pretty consistent, right? A lot of those things. What if UCF wins out?
Hold on. AP, that's fine. AP is Wisconsin. You know what? I'm not going to get into it.
Wisconsin at number 4.
That's anyway. AP's stupid, but it's fine. That's what we go by. So whatever.
The other one was stupid. Now AP's stupid.
Iowa State.
A lot of people when they heard the playoff committee talking about which teams were in exactly that order, they were like, "Yeah, that makes sense." I think they did a really good job of taking in a lot.
I love drama, and you saw that last night. #Micah. It's fine. So Iowa State, give me your little thoughts on them real quick.
On Iowa State,
yes,
dude,
they're for real.
They are a team that is just there's no other team in all of college that is exploding like they are. Even the undefeated teams are. Maybe Georgia, some other teams that are in the top 4, but any other team that's came out of nowhere and just exploded off the.
They're riding on pure, unadulterated bliss. I don't know why I had to say that, but it's
fine. No, there's a joy, there's an excitement that they didn't expect it.
When they beat Oklahoma, you're thinking, oh, Oklahoma's out of it now. That's a horrible road loss or home loss. But now that they I don't know who they knocked out before us, but they knocked off us.
TCU.
Well,
that was after
they
us.
won. Was it
14-7 over TCU? I believe. They held Sonny Cumbie, who a lot of Tech fans are like, that should be our next coach, to 7 points.
Did they have OU a game and then TCU, or was it OU us and then TCU? I think
they had Kansas
between them. I think you're right.
They shut out Kansas. I know that.
I think that was the game before. I think you're right. I think it was OU Kansas. It was OU Kansas, us, and then TCU.
Dude, they are on a streak and they're tearing it up.
Right. The fact that you beat a number 3 in the country Oklahoma team, shut out Kansas, which I don't care how bad you are, but if you are held scoreless, that's saying something. Because I don't know how last time the Tech had a shutout, even against the FCS team.
Yeah.
Kansas might as well
not
be that.
in my memory.
But then you beat us, which we don't know how good of a caliber team we have at this point. But it's
really
still a good road
strange?
win regardless.
You can make an argument that every team that beat us is by the end of the year can be a top 25 team.
Which I don't know if that justifies my sadness, but it is kind of interesting.
It's like, are we really as bad as people are saying, or are the teams that beating us really, really playing well? And you could make a little argument of both.
We're kind of like that last dismount to the clouds. Ooh, I like that.
We are still grounded. but we're not ready to.
Or that if everybody we play is like a long jump competitor, like we're that last foot plant to where they just propel up.
Yeah, we're not just
God,
somehow barely a step behind in a lot of these games.
My metaphor doesn't work, but that's fine.
Yeah, you need to stop making up metaphors on the spot. That might help. No, but it's totally fine. But a lot of these teams are ranked right now. In West Virginia, I mean, they played a pretty good game for most of the game.
Right.
OSU did end up beating them, and so that's why they dropped out. But, okay, so all those teams are basically ranked in the Big 12, which makes it, I think, a really strong conference this year.
5 of the 10?
Almost 5.
The problem
yeah,
with the Big 12 is we
OSU.
cannibalize each other.
And West Virginia is the one that was the fifth.
The reason why the Big 12 is not going to get in this year if it's not Oklahoma is because we cannibalize each other. Everybody, minus Kansas and Baylor, everybody, even us, like we're sitting there at 8th, which is sad. We're right above. Yeah. We're only above Baylor and Kansas.
Yeah, we'll
definitely get everybody to that. From 8th and up can beat anybody. The reason why we don't get in is because we cannibalize each other. We're like, oh yeah, cool, we beat TCU and Oklahoma, but now they have a lesser shot at the playoffs, which is what conference committees and conference.
You want that strong team in your conference, but also you don't want to face that strong team.
Fan bases fan bases don't care regardless of their team, but in terms of like making money and the Big 12 conference heads and the committee. The Big 12 wants as much money as they can, and one way to get that, one way to hit the jackpot is to have teams.
Yeah, you want that one team, and that TCU loss really did.
Right. Oh yeah.
Kind of put a damper.
I don't think TCU would have made the rest of the season undefeated.
Yeah, that's hard to say.
Which I called that. Thanks, Micah.
That's hard to say though.
But yeah. Anyway.
I mean, it's hard for any team to go undefeated.
Right, for sure.
Like Bama has trouble doing it some years. Anyway, so I want to get one more thing before we move on. Okay, so I always like talking about the CBS poll, the 1 through 130 poll. Tech moved from 52nd. So after this loss to Oklahoma last week, what do you think they moved down to from 52nd?
A good OU team on the road, 52nd to somewhere in the late 70s.
In the late 70s?
Yeah.
So this poll has moving from 52nd to 53rd.
What?
Oh. Only down 1 point. That'll spike no matter how quiet we get the mics.
I was so wow.
So the way that they viewed this loss is that Tech played a lot better than they were expected to, and they only went down 1 spot, which I was pretty shocked at.
We lost by 22. They covered the line, which I never thought they would.
So I mean, you can make an argument that we are around the 50-something best team, according to this poll.
Radio people, if you can't see my face right now, I am baffled by the fact that we only went down 1 spot.
Yeah, in this poll. I mean, obviously, they're not as specific as they are with the top few teams. But to see a team that lost to OU like we did last week and put up a good fight for a good chunk of the game before we fell off.
Honestly, that's probably because of our defensive numbers.
Yeah, I mean, we can talk about those in a minute.
Because I mean, obviously, we still let OU score 49 on us, but in terms of overall season's production, we're riding on our defensive production. Is what that ranking tells me.
Yeah, as a whole, the team has had a better defense this year, and so Kansas State, the team we're playing this week, we're ranked 53rd right now. Kansas State.
Oh, let me guess.
Okay.
You know what? I'm not going to guess the ranking, but I'll guess that they are below us just a smidge.
Okay, we're 53rd. They're ranked 62nd, 6-2 on this poll.
Okay, well, that's not a smidge, but I still am right, so that's fine.
They are below us.
Right.
And I think people are saying that we won't win another game this season, which blows my mind.
Well, obviously, we'll get into this in a minute, but Tech is currently, as of Wednesday at 5 o'clock, when I looked this up, Tech is a 3-point favorite at home right now.
Yeah, I think I saw 3.5, 3, somewhere around there.
Which I think is incredibly accurate, but
which scares me.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Kansas State, I'll definitely get into breakdown later, but they're not as good. I mean, we're both 4-4. Well, I'll get into it later.
Kansas State rise on their defense-ish, I guess? Question mark.
They rely on being disciplined all over the ball.
Yes, that's for sure.
That's something that will win you a lot of games. Is being the more disciplined, being where you're supposed to be, even if you're not the most athletic.
I'm gonna hold my tongue because I'll save this for
we'll get to it.
Okay, you ready to move on?
I am if you are.
I have notable scores from. We're still on college football. You
want me to get interesting games? last
I have
weekend?
no. Yes. Go ahead.
All right, this is college football. Interesting games from last weekend.
Well, you want to start it off?
You give me a few, and I'm gonna
Alright.
see if I have some of those same on the list.
We got Ohio. I always get tongue twisted on these two names. Ohio State and Iowa State. I always say the wrong name.
Yes, they are really
Right.
close. Yeah.
Iowa State over. Sorry, that was. Yes,
Yeah.
Iowa State over TCU.
Yeah, let's go Big 12 first.
14-7. Iowa State. I don't know how to explain it, but I'm not going to.
Their defense was literally perfect.
Right.
They had one special team return for a touchdown for TCU at the beginning of the second half. But other than that, Iowa State didn't allow an offensive touchdown
Right.
to Sonny Cumbie, who I said just a minute ago, a lot of Tech fans are like,
Right.
he's the guy.
Which,
Cliff's
again,
not the guy. Which is crazy to think.
We'll get. I might touch on this in the later podcast, but Cliff is the latest example of not hiring in the family. Chris Beard in terms of basketball seems to be doing a good job, but I mean, I love the nostalgia of hiring in the Red Raider family. But I mean, do you see any other teams in the country doing that consistently?
Yeah, I think we need to land an up-and-coming coach
Yes.
that has some sort of loyalty. Because if you have an
Yes.
up-and-coming coach that just wants to use you as a stepping stone,
Right.
your program's going to be worse off shape than before.
Right.
And so that's why fans are
Hashtag,
claiming.
Tubby Smith. It's fine.
That's why some fans are saying, I want, say, Sonny Cumbie,
Right.
or I pity the people that say they want Art Briles. But
Oh gosh.
but people that want,
disgusting.
yeah, he's like the smear on Texas Tech's
Right.
history, to be honest. That's the one person I wouldn't want to ever claim as a Tech person.
As for some
That's
other scores of Week 9, Oklahoma State over West Virginia, 50-39. Texas over Baylor, 30-7. Say with me, John. Baylor is now 0-8, which goodness
Still winless.
gracious. Kansas over Kansas. Kansas State over Kansas, 20. Wow, 30-20. Sorry,
Yeah.
I keep slipping up. The line for this game was 43.
Oh my gosh.
What does this score tell you? Does it tell you that Kansas is better than the record shows, or that K-State is not as good as the record shows?
To me, it tells me that K-State is at the same level that Tech was 2 years ago when we went to Kansas and put up a 30-20 game. Does that make
Okay.
sense?
Yeah.
So we were about the same level. I think that team was the team that finished 5-7, or I'm not sure. Maybe we ended
Wait,
up
was
finishing more than that.
that?
It was the game where we went to Kansas, and
So that was 2 years ago. That would have
Yes.
been that. I think it's 5-7. Yeah.
I think that was-
Did we have back-to-back 5-7 seasons?
no, we went each another.
So it would have been 6-6 then, or something like that. 7-5.
So Kansas State looks like maybe at the best 7-5
Right.
team, and that might be pushing it because that's not a
I'm
good game.
surprised. I didn't write down where this was in terms of Manhattan, or I didn't write down who was the home field advantage. Granted, they're both Kansas teams, so it shouldn't really matter.
Yeah, I think it was at, I want to say it was at Kansas, but I heard a lot of the
Right.
opposing team's fans in some of the highlights. I forgot which one it was.
I mean, I don't know about you, but if this was the Tech score over Kansas, I'd be a little frightened. I'm not gonna
And
lie.
they had an explosive kick return
Right.
game in that game, so it kind of scares me with Tech's
Right.
maybe shaky special teams play on kickoff returns and kickoffs.
As for some non-Big 12 scores, Stanford survives over Oregon State, 15-14. Ohio State over Penn
Yeah.
State, 39-35. This game was nuts. I watched the very end of it because I was just getting back from doing our mission trip in Houston. We were just getting back to the church in the last part of the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
But I believe Ohio State was down. I know at one point they were down 18, but I know they were down 11 with like 4 minutes to go, and I was still saying on GroupMe, it's over.
Yeah.
But Ohio State pulled some defense out of their butt, and they completed a miraculous comeback. I would have loved to see Penn State to win, because I would love to see, after they more or less got snubbed last year in the playoffs, I would love to see them get that win
Yes.
and get that extra step towards it.
Maybe it was just because I really enjoyed the Penn State just like team in this game,
Right.
but I felt like they completely fell apart.
Yep.
I
They
mean,
pulled Tech.
some people might have said that Ohio State won that game, but I really think it was more.
I
Penn
think
State
the best
losing.
way to say it is they played not to lose instead of
Yes.
playing to win.
And a lot of times, ironically, that makes you lose.
Yes, because conservativeness it turns into running the ball, which turns into not getting first downs. Even though running the ball runs clock, it's not getting first downs and all that stuff.
It is one of the most frustrating ways to lose a game in general is having the lead, feeling like your team could have easily put it away and just letting it slip all the way to a loss.
I have a few more games for Week 9. Georgia over Florida 47. I won't touch on these too much, but 47-7. Georgia's obviously for real because they're ranked number 2 or 1 now. Miami survives over UNC again. Back-to-back weeks they played each other, and the same close score, which is nuts.
I mean, UNC is 1-8 now, but they held in with this game.
Right.
I don't know how a 1-8 team holds on to the number 8 team in the nation.
Which that might be factoring into why they're 10 right now.
Yes,
technically.
Almost losing to a team that has 1 win on the year.
Right.
It does make you look bad.
Arizona over Washington State, 58-37. Washington State has now fallen off the map. Not off the map, but they've fallen certainly down. They've gone from 8 to 25 in 2 weeks.
Yeah, and it just feels like that 2013 year with Cliff that they started real strong, and we don't know how many games they'll win again.
And again, like I think I told you this a while back, is that Washington State, the first 5 games were at home. So they had what is that?
Home field advantage.
6 of their last 7 were on the road, which makes it hard for. I don't care who you are, man. That's hard for anybody.
It's a hard mentality,
right?
And it looks like the defense has really started. I don't know. I don't keep up with their injuries and all that, but man, their defense has been.
I know their O-line is thin.
But I mean, their defense is allowed, I've seen 30, 40, 50 points scored on them versus the 20 they were allowing in the first half of the season.
And one more for you, Northwestern over Michigan State, 39-31 in triple overtime.
I saw that.
Michigan State, I thought that if they not run the table, I thought that they had potential to make some noise in the playoff conversation. But with this loss, it certainly knocks them out because it's now their second loss. Granted, if they play good, they still have potential to make the chaos because they still got to play Penn State and Ohio State, but they're certainly out of the conversation for themselves.
Yes. I definitely have one more, and it's just we'll see. U of H, University of Houston, hands number 17 USF and Charlie Strong their first loss of the season.
Wow.
I thought that's good just because. Whenever U of H wins, it makes us look better.
Right.
And whenever Charlie Strong loses, that's just we get to laugh a little bit, so that's good too.
You ready for some interesting games of Week 10 real quick? I only got a few written down.
All right, let's see. This is interesting games this weekend.
All righty. Well, the game that everybody and their mom is looking forward to, Baylor at Kansas. Baylor is currently that's this week. I can't wait to watch that trash.
They call Baylor versus Tech the Butt Bowl, but this is the real Butt Bowl, the bowels of the Big 12 right now.
Baylor is currently an 8-point favorite, which honestly seems high.
Baylor is
at Kansas too. I would take. You know what? I would take Baylor, but not the spread, because Baylor has been playing close games recently. Kansas is being blown out. Yes, they have that one first win out of conference this season, but Baylor, unlike Kansas, has been competitive in every game. They just haven't found a way to win.
I'm going to be rooting my butt off for Kansas.
Yes.
But at the same time, I don't see a chance of them winning.
I think I would take Baylor, but not the spread. As with some others,
Savage.
Iowa State at West Virginia. West Virginia is a 2-point favorite. Whatever, how you say that. I want to take Iowa State in this game because it's only 2-point favorite. Spreads don't mean much in terms of how the game was played. Obviously, they know something that we don't when they set those. But you go to Tech and win, you go to Oklahoma and win, and you beat TCU at home. I think you can take West Virginia on the road also.
Did you have the line on that?
2, West Virginia.
2 to West Virginia?
Yeah.
It's 2:30 in West Virginia in Morgantown on ESPN2.
I will take Iowa State straight up. You will? With the spread.
You know what? Yeah.
Yeah.
That's not a...
I hate to say this, but how a lot of times NFL fans have this mentality is if we lose to if we lose in the playoffs to the Super Bowl champions, does that make you feel any better? And I don't know how I feel about that conversation in terms of the NFL.
But it just gives you more if only.
Right. But if our one bad loss of the season, in terms of the fans' perspective, is Iowa State, and they climb the rankings and they climb
top 10 and
then
further.
yeah, if let's get my words together first. If our one bad loss is to a team that is quickly, climbing the ranks, I don't feel so bad. Now that's not the same as, I'm not saying that I want Oklahoma to do good or I want TCU to do good, but if Iowa State keeps this streak up any much longer, I'm going to start rooting for them. That's just my opinion. Another huge game this weekend is Bedlam.
Okay. So before we get into Bedlam, real quick. So yeah, of course we have the Baylor-Kansas game. Tickets are available for $3 in that game. You can go there, check it out for $3.
But if I remember right, that was more than a Texas game earlier in the season. Because remember you were saying one game for Texas was worth $2.
I mean, that's crazy because Texas has a much bigger stadium, so they have trouble selling out that many seats. But like Kansas Stadium is much smaller, and so now talk about Bedlam, and I'll tell you. Maybe I'll let you guess about how much the cheapest Bedlam ticket is.
So Bedlam this year is at Oklahoma State. Oklahoma State is currently a 2.5-point favorite.
That's great.
Baker's
pissed.
I would say 2.5 is a tricky number because obviously if you get 3, you cover it.
Yeah.
I would say Oklahoma wins, but they don't win by more than 10.
Just for funsies, I'll take OSU.
Okay. I mean, it's a hard place to play regardless.
I mean, why not?
But Baker's got a chip on his shoulder so big it wouldn't fit into a Pringles can.
That is true.
That was so dumb. It's fine.
I mean, it made sense.
Go ahead and tell me about the tickets.
Okay, give your guess, and don't be crazy, but give your guess what you think a ticket for Bedlam would cost.
Cheapest or just in general?
Yeah, just the cheapest ticket.
Cheapest
that I could find this last week. Of course, I'm not gonna pay that, but.
Cheapest 180.
It was at 150 on Sunday.
Not bad.
Not bad. Is it now up to 200? Okay, you can find it whenever you look at the matchup on ESPN.
I win the Price is Right because Micah had 200. No, Price is Right if you go over, you lose. Never mind. Oh, okay. Never mind. Micah's just dumb.
It's all right. Don't worry about that. So that we got Bedlam, which probably will be the most exciting game of the week.
And hopefully we will get the W before and we get home by the start of that game.
Okay.
Granted, I'm kind of sad that Baylor and Kansas is at 11 a.m. because I don't get to watch that gloriousness unfold.
They'll probably put some highlights and be like, "Oh, it's still 0-0 at the end of the second."
If Baylor wins, they'll just shut down their program in celebration.
Dude, but aren't they at Kansas? Kansas will totally storm the field if they beat Baylor.
I would love to see that.
That would be hilarious.
But
I would enjoy that.
Anyway, some other games.
Speaking of Kansas storming the field, Texas. Let's talk about Texas team.
At TCU.
Yeah, they're going to Fort Worth, take on number 10 TCU.
And TCU is a 6.5-point favorite.
Okay.
Which I think that's low. But granted, TCU isn't known for their offense by any means.
I'm also a little bit worried about because Texas's defense has really been showing out recently.
Are they actually good, or are they just playing mediocre teams?
Tune in at 6:15 on ESPN on Saturday to find out.
Freaking funny, Joe.
I mean, that's the only way we're gonna know is after this TCU game. But this TCU team was shut out at Iowa State.
I'm
7 points.
I'm gonna take TCU, but not the spread.
Okay. Man, this is a
6.5
hard
point
one.
favorite.
This is hard. In my head, it's just a flip a coin. That's who's gonna win this game.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Some other games, not Big 12. We got Penn State at Michigan State, which Michigan State will be like the Super Bowl.
And they're both looking for a statement win right now.
Yes, for sure. Penn State is a negative. I keep saying negative. And Penn State is a 8.5 point favorite.
8.5.
On the road, I would take it. I realize what I just said was contradictory, but I'll take it. Clemson at NC State. Clemson is an 8-point favorite. A lot of people are saying this is their last big speed bump to the playoffs because NC State was a team who beat them last year. Even though Clemson's already lost, NC State was a team that beat them last year.
What is the spread on it?
8 for Clemson.
8 for Clemson. Dude, this is NC State's most. They have the most motivation to win this game out of any game.
I'll take Clemson
to stay in the talk.
I'll take Clemson, but not the spread.
It is on ABC too, so that helps national. Yeah, you know what? I'll take Clemson too, just outright in general.
And I have 2 more for you, real quick. LSU at Bama. LSU isn't the caliber team as Bama is.
It's been really good the past few years.
Right. It's just the pure excitement of the rivalry.
That's the CBS 7 p.m. Central Time game.
Bama is the 21.5 point favorite. I will take Bama, not the spread. I have a trend going here. I'll take Bama, not the spread.
Yeah, 21's a lot.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see. Trying to see the games I don't have. Keep going.
Virginia Tech is also at Miami. Virginia Tech is a 2.5-point favorite on the road.
Virginia Tech on the road is favored?
Yes, at Miami. Virginia Tech, I believe, is 13. Miami is 10.
9 right now.
9
on this one.
I don't know. Virginia Tech is a good team. Obviously, they're 13, so I think their ranking personifies how good they are, but they are a threat. I'm telling you right now.
All right, so who are you taking, and do they cover if you have Virginia Tech?
I'm taking Virginia Tech, and I'll call it a 3-point win, so it'll cover.
I'll take Miami.
Oh, okay.
Well, there's just a few points.
Contradictoriness.
I think it's just because, Miami hasn't lost yet.
Just because why not, right?
Why would we vote against them, right?
Other than that, that's all I have for interesting games week 10.
Okay, I think 2 more. Stanford at Washington State, number 18 at number 25. I'm rooting for Mike Leach's team after 2 rough losses out of their last 3 games, the Cal and Arizona games. It's 2:30 kickoff. It's on Fox. It's at Washington State, I believe. And
what's the line?
I don't have the line on the game. I don't have any of the lines because
Washington State against who again?
It's Stanford at Washington State. Number 18 Stanford at Washington State. I think that they're going to put up some big points again.
Yeah.
And that Stanford, I don't think, has an explosive offense they can keep up.
Without Chris McCaffrey, they don't.
Number 23 now ranked Arizona at number 17 USC.
Shout out to Arizona. That's where my dad went for grad school.
And so the reason this is a storyline is, first of all, it's a 9:45 Central Time game.
No, thank you.
I'm not staying up to watch it.
I learned my lesson last year.
Basically, everyone wants to know, will Sam Darnold continue to struggle?
Right.
And
he's bad.
And they're both ranked teams, so it's a big game.
I think speaking of Sam Darnold, I think the fact that he struggled so much makes me think that he will stay for another year at USC. I've been to leave as a junior, but I think because of the struggles and he still feels like he has something to prove, he'll stay for next year.
Yeah, I think so too. I think that.
But
although he is a big prospect, it really helped to have mental grounding.
I'll touch on this now quick. There is a heck of a lot of QBs in the market right now because there's a good draft class this year in terms of Josh Rosen, Josh Allen.
Okay, yeah.
I just lost the third one, but anyway,
Sam Darnold, of course.
Sam Darnold. And then there's also a lot of big name. I didn't touch on this.
Mason Rudolph might be in that one as well.
Right, and Mayfield, duh. Not biased at all.
I'm not in the NFL system. I don't know.
But and then the NFL, there's a lot of very large name marquee quarterbacks being free agents this year. And a lot of them have already been franchise tagged, so they can't be franchise tagged again. So there's a lot of competition for QBs this year, and I promise you.
And a lot of teams struggling with QBs still.
Right.
And so that's a big one. Okay, now there's one big game we haven't talked about yet.
Which one is that?
Kansas State comes into Lubbock to face Texas Tech. 11 a.m. Central on FS1. Both teams are 4-4 in desperate need of a win. We're not going to go in depth.
I was about to, but I was looking at you in the eye, and I'm like, I'll pump the brakes real quick.
But as we like to say, before we get into that,
right.
This is Miscellaneous Tech Facts. All right, so these are just stats that I have through about 8 games. Well, not about, exactly 8 games.
About 8 games.
Nick Shimanek now has 22 touchdowns on 2,663 yards. That's not as bad as what people are saying. He's been really, really struggling. Of course, a lot of those have come in the first half.
As Tech fans, I'm telling you, as Tech fans, we are spoiled with QB play.
We are so spoiled.
If a QB is even not brilliant, we complain. Like we could have
put in the guy that came out of JUCO.
I get the in-game decisions. You can criticize that all you want, but in terms of the stats he's putting up and the production he's putting up, we could be in a lot worse situation. Like our QB play has spoiled us to where if anybody's not excellent, we have a problem.
And you know what? Like Cliff is literally coaching for his job. Like, why would he not put in? Sorry,
that's fine.
The YouTube video made me reload it.
Just let it run.
Let it run. Okay, but Cliff is literally coaching for his job. Why would he not put the best QB in if he didn't? If he thought there was somebody that was better than
my biggest
Shimanek?
problem is that. He seemed to have a lot more confidence in the OU game throwing downfield. Yeah. Because obviously you saw that. He was chunking it.
And I mean the QB guru Cliff, man.
Against a lesser, I guess not. I don't want to. Uh, we could have exploited the OU secondary a lot more.
Yeah, there was a few deep passes that were just not on the mark.
There was one. I was on retreat, obviously, but I was talking to Megan. I don't know how to pronounce her last name, but if you're listening, I'm sorry.
She's not listening.
Okay, cool. It's fine. But
we can tell her we gave her a shout
out. There was a pass where it was like a 2-yard quick slant to Cutie, and he was wide. The ball's open. I mean, no joke. And a linebacker and one of the one of the defensive ends goes up and bat the ball down. If that ball had gone through, Cutie had 5 yards of space and a little cut.
You give him the smallest
Dude,
crease, he's gone.
He would have been. I mean, granted, that was still when it was a game and it was close. But Cutie would have been gone if that ball would have made it through.
I think Cutie's gone after this season, so he's gonna probably go to the NFL.
You think so?
With the stats he has, with the speed he has, and the talent, we might lose all 4 of our starting receivers as far as.
Oh, Rip Cantrell, I love you.
I'm just saying this. We need to do something with these guys.
Right.
Show them some love and give
We're
them some
gonna win
touchdowns.
out. I'm gonna knock on some wood there.
That's fake wood.
Shut up.
Oh, that was great. Anyway, so that's one thing. Shimanek is not playing that bad. He has a QBR of 73.5, which when I get to the Kansas State QBs, you'll be very grateful because no one has close to that. Justin Stockton leads the team with 495 yards and 4 rushing touchdowns. He was out with a concussion. We're not sure if he's going to be back for this next game. All indications are that it's a game-time decision, which means either he's trying to hide it or he really doesn't know.
Right.
Cliff's trying to hide it or either he doesn't know.
Another thing is that for this K-State game, I've heard rumors. They're all rumors by now, but
everything's rumors.
I've heard rumors that Hatfield is close to healthy.
Yes, I did hear that as well.
Which
would be major.
Which might be the reason why I haven't gotten the call yet.
But I am not going to lean on a guy that's coming right off an injury for 48 yards.
But honestly, like in terms of humble bragging again, that might be why I'm thinking as of Wednesday afternoon, I haven't got the call yet. I didn't make it, but because they would have had to have more time to prepare me for a game.
Yeah.
But
I mean,
that might explain it. The Hatfield's coming back, and they don't need me. Who knows?
If Hatfield's coming back, all bets are off.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to run through a few other things. Okay. Kiki Cutie has 837 yards on the season. Ridiculous. 837 yards.
Jeez.
7 touchdowns on the year on 57 catches. Tech as a whole, as a team, averages 38.6 points a game, which has kind of been dropping, which makes them rank 17th nationally, which we're so spoiled that we think that sucks.
Right.
38 points a game.
We want no lower than 5th.
Yeah, we're like,
season.
If it's under 50, we're like failing, obviously. Okay, Tech is ranked 6th nationally in passing yards with 348.1 yards per game. Still way up there in passing game. Rushing offense is ranked 75th. And if you would have told me that at the beginning of the season, I'd be like, yeah, we're probably 105th, maybe. They had 156.3 yards per game. We're actually rushing a lot better than you'd think.
I just find it funny how the one season that we're not dead last in defense, we can't do anything on offense.
Oh, it's just so so painful.
It's frustrating. I mean, I'm not saying Shimonek's the problem. I'm not saying Cliff's the problem. I don't know what the problem is.
If you have the offensive...
Go ahead.
Oh. Dang, jinx. Anyway, you're done for the rest of the podcast.
There's obviously a problem. I just can't pin it, and obviously I can't because I'm not paid to pin it. But it's just, I mean, we are what do we rank overall in defense of the nation?
Tech's defense allows 33.1 points per game, which is 103rd nationally. That's the first time we dropped under 100, over 100.
I'm telling you, if we had this defense, I'm not saying I'm not on the Shimonek train because I'm not off of it by any means, but I'm not as securely on it as I once was.
If you take our game scores from last year and you take that and you put it to this season, and then our defense plays as well as they're doing, would be very few teams that could beat us.
Absolutely. I just...
It's just a productivity is not transferred.
I'm not anti-Shimonek, but I am leaning towards Jet Duffy. I love to see Jet Duffy get a shot. Love it. I love those. I mean, he's not going to make it in the pros with the style, but I love that read option and that RPO style of quarterback. I love it.
I mean, Cliff has done really well with the mobile quarterbacks, and so... Yeah, you can make an argument that without that suspension, Jet Duffy would have been the starter for this year. He was grooming him basically for a whole year to become the quarterback. Everything was lined up, and then, of course, the suspension last summer really set him back. All right, I got a clip if you want to listen to it real quick.
The Oklahoma 9. Shimonek to throw for it. It is juggled Incredible concentration. What an answer by the Red Raiders. And a smirk on the sideline for
It's great to hear that.
And that throw made it from a 15-point game to to an 8-point game. So we were still in at that point.
Oh, yeah.
That was me and Megan were freaking out when he caught that. Oh my gosh, that was a heck of a catch. I thought it was tipped, but I think it was off his knee. I think it was thrown low.
It was like a
knee.
bobble. It kind of hit off his knee.
Right.
Yeah.
Boy, that was
that was a crazy catch. Like I felt like he was gonna catch it the whole time, which was kind of a weird feeling. But I was also like, did he just drop that?
And Batson hasn't had. I know he's a speedster. I know he's a good guy, but he has not had the production that I thought he was going to have this season.
And so that was a clip from the OU game, and that was Batson catching a touchdown that just kind of was a weird triple catch, very good concentration catch down to the ground. And Shimanek was kind of baffled when he looked up and realized, hey, that was actually a touchdown.
I thought he was mad at him at first, but he was just shocked.
He said he looked at Cliff in a press conference, I believe, yesterday or today.
Really?
And he said he looked at Cliff, and Cliff was doing this, like the catch motion. Right. And he was like, I didn't know we had a play like that, so I got really confused. And then I looked again, and he said, no, he caught it.
That's really funny.
And so it was kind of like one of those classic, mentor / quarterback relationships that was shown right there. Oh my
goodness!
It's a brilliant moment from Cliff.
I don't know if you're ready for this, but I have some individual stats for you if you want it.
Yes, you can run through individual stats. I have them too. I can fill in some blanks if you.
Shimanek, in terms of his performance, he went 22 for 36, 322, and 4 touchdowns and 1 pick. He started the game 7 for 7 and 3 touchdowns, which was nuts.
Nice.
Mayfield on the other end of the spectrum. I wouldn't bring him up in any other conversation, but it's just the fact that their stats were basically mirrors of each other, except Shimanek had more yards, which obviously means Mayfield was quote unquote more proficient or more efficient in his throwing.
Yeah, both.
Mayfield was 22 for 34 for 281, 4 touchdowns as well, and 1 pick as well.
I got some extra stats on those as well.
Okay, go ahead.
So Shimanek's passes averaged 8.9 yards. He had a QBR of 75.6 in the game. And Mayfield had a QBR of 81.7. Of course, it helps when your whole team, running backs, everything are doing better. Averaging 8.3. So we had 8.9. They had 8.3 yards per attempt. And, of course, Mayfield did have a rushing touchdown. So that made him go up as well.
As for some rushing, Trey King went 24 for 113. He has taken over the role of starting quarterback. Obviously, Stockton's out, so
running
that helps. Did I say?
You said quarterback.
Oh, whoops.
Running back. Yeah, Trey King has come in, transfer out of some community college in Kansas.
He's kind of there's Stockton, there's Nisby, in terms of like small and large. Trey King is like right in the middle in terms
He's
of
shown
size.
some brilliance as well, and and all around being a back, being blocking, be it rolling out of the backfield, taking a catch.
Right.
Not quite as fast as Stockton, but not quite as bulky and kind of a little slower like Nisby. And he's shown a pretty great spin move as well.
As for Nisby went 4 for 12, and and in my opinion, he hasn't been the consistent rushing presence that fans were expecting this year.
We were hoping
he's been very hot and cold, kind of like Kenny Perry, except a little bit worse.
And many years later, like 11 years later.
In terms of receiving, Vasher, what's his first name again? TJ Vasher.
I don't know his full name, but TJ.
He went 5 for 98. He was the breakout player of this game. QT, sorry, it's actually QT.
Okay. He had a.
You can see. So I just want to let you know that you because we both say QT all the time, but it's actually QT because there's no I in there. I don't know if you have a rebuttal, but
I'll go with it. I'll go with whatever you say.
QT. It almost sounds like it's French. He went 4 for 93 for a touchdown, and Cantrell went 3 for 75 with the touchdown as well. Just some solid receiving core. Obviously, we didn't have the numbers to put up with OU, so we didn't have the individual stats that not qualify, but that measure up. As for some defense, Brooks was a camera hog with 13 tackles, 5 of those being solo.
And it still felt like they were being overwhelmed for most of the game in the linebacker core, but they did have a ton of tackles. But they were deep. They were getting into the secondary before they had a chance to tackle them.
Hill had 10 totals, had 10 total tackles for 7 of the solo. Dakota Allen had 10 total tackles, 4 of those were solo, and Johnson had 8 total, 2 solo. As for some overall game stats I think you already went over this. Never mind.
I got a few more.
First downs.
Yeah, got that one.
You got that one. Third and fourth downs.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. Third downs. Tech went 5 for 14. OU went 7 for 13.
And OU had 31 first downs. Tech had 24. So that OU kept them chunking.
Honestly, we can complain about these all day long, but who was really expecting to go into Norman and win? Nobody.
Yeah,
nobody was.
I mean, even an optimistic fan would still be like, yeah, but it's Norman. And what about fourth down? Do you have efficiency?
Tech went 1 for 3. OU went 2 for 2.
Man, that's just been a trend for Tech. We've struggled to convert on fourth down, and other teams have almost always made it against us.
The end zone is the opponent's best defender.
Yeah, especially when you get red zone offenses really struggled for Tech, especially.
That's just in total yards. Tech had 437. OU had 617, which is quite the stark difference.
They outgained us by 180 yards in this game. And a lot of those, more than that, was probably the run differential.
Right. We had 115 yards of rushing, and they had 336. So our over-unders were blown out of the water.
Oh, that's ridiculous.
Yeah.
And OU also led time of possession 32-02. Not by a ton, but I mean, when they're running as much as they are, I'm surprised that they barely won time of possession.
Penalties, Tech went 6 for 63. OU went 7 for 94.
And it didn't feel like OU had really any penalties in the game.
Right. And
maybe that was just my perspective.
A lot of ours were like really tacky.
They came at bad times too.
Right.
Just
like third downs and stuff like
times,
that. Right.
Yeah.
Other than
Fourth
that,
down
that's
and
all,
short.
that's all the notes.
False start.
So we're sitting at 4-4. We're going into K-State, coming in at Jones AT&T Stadium at 11 a.m.
Yeah. Do you want to get into that?
I'm. Where are you in terms of if 5 is don't care, if 1 is fire him now and 10 is I love him stay forever? Where are you on the spectrum for Cliff?
10 being good or bad?
10 being great, 1 being horrible, 5 being don't really care.
I'm about in between a 6, maybe a 7. I'm still on Cliff's side. I think
no, 10 is bad.
10 is bad.
Yes.
Okay.
So 2 or 3.
All right, I'm a little bit on the Cliff side. I'm a little bit on the 4 Cliff side. Whatever that works.
I would
10 on madness scale. Anger scale.
I can see the complaints of fans. I've heard them all. I haven't heard them all. I've heard a lot. I agree with y'all, but I'm telling you, something in my heart. I don't know if it's in my heart, my gut, or my head.
Just this far in the season.
Something in my body is telling me to give him more time.
Yeah, I mean, what was Bill? I think Bill Snyder's first few seasons, first 5 seasons, he was under 500.
Now he's literally a living
and now
legend
he's one of the best coaches
with
of all.
Freaking stadium named after him. Are you kidding me?
Yes, fun fact. I'm getting into that for sure. So here's my ending to the OU game note summary. I really think there's the call for the backup QB were really quieted quite a bit, but a missed extra point is causing us to really long for consistency in general for the team. And that's about all I have for that.
Yeah, I'm a little salty about that, not going to lie. I mean, 3 or 4 is good in terms of a Barden percentage, but, I mean, you shouldn't miss a PAT regardless.
Yes, I think that you should make every single one. All right. This is reviewing rapid-fire questions from last week.
You are a huge nerd.
All right, so we had quite a few rapid-fire questions from last week. And here we go. Does Tech look uninspired to start the game? Heck no. 20 first quarter points.
Right.
Basically, if we would have kept that up, that could have been an 80-point game. That would have been incredible.
33 touchdowns in the first quarter is quite...
And so we
sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, we both did say no, so we were right on that one. Do we see McLean Carter at all? I said yes, thinking there was going to be garbage time, and we kept it close enough to not be a 30, 40-point game in garbage time, any of that. And so you're right on that one, and I was wrong.
We kept it close enough to where that last Nisby stop towards the goal line was the deciding factor. That was late in the game.
Yeah, it felt like that was the dagger.
If you know,
the fourth down stop.
It was a blowout. I'm not gonna lie there. It was a blowout, but we kept it close enough to where everyone in the head was thinking, you never know.
Dude, I really think if Trey King would have run that ball, we might have scored. Because he would have probably bounced off a tackle and gone in.
I'm more. This is where you'll kind of gauge my Cliff notes, if you will.
Cliff notes. That's pretty dope.
Dude,
we should have that segment. Cliff notes.
I'm more indecisive on Nisby being a running back than Cliff being our coach.
Okay, yeah, I got that.
So
he's just there's a lot of liability that's been happening.
If that helps you peg where I am on Cliff, great. If it doesn't, then whatever. So
I'd say you're around 5.
Yeah,
you're right in the middle.
I
on
would.
that.
Yeah. I would lean towards keeping, but I'm kind of like, we'll see what happens, kind of thing.
All right, so I'm gonna run through the rest of them.
Okay.
Do we pass more than we run? Yes, I said yes. You said no, but it was barely. It was 36 to 34. Barely more pass attempts. Will Stockton be back for the OU game?
Nope.
And we both said no, so that's true. We have any attempts at a field goal in the Oklahoma game? I said no. You said yes. We didn't even attempt a field goal. You said not including extra points.
Were we even? Do we? Obviously I can't. Just
Yeah, we didn't even
this.
attempt one.
We didn't. I got a burp. Okay, there we go. We're fine.
What's your question?
Nothing. Never mind. Just continue.
Does Tech pull out a crazy trick play? You might have to remind me if I forgot.
We did
in the first half. I don't remember any crazy trick play that we pulled against OU.
We had one of those little. Oh, you know what? But Cantrell missed it. It was a screen pass to a flea flicker, and Cantrell missed it.
Okay, I think
so we had one. We just didn't execute it right.
I think also there's another one where Batson had an attempt, but he went back, got ready to throw, and then saw nobody open.
Yes,
So
I do
off.
remember that. Yes.
I don't remember if that was the first or half.
Yeah.
I said no, and then we both said yes. Either way, our score doesn't change because we both had the same answer. Drew, you had 3 of 6, and I had 4 of 6 on that one. So I was pretty darn close.
Dang, I am worse at this than Batson is at
so
field goals.
competitive. All right, reviewing last week's over/under. You just threw in a field goal reference there. Over/under 900 total yards in this game. It was over. I said under. You said over. It was 1,054 yards. Tech rushes for 150 yards in the game. It was under. I said under. You said over. It was 115 rushing in the game. And of course, a little bit more of that. You can take away the Shimanek and add the other one. But I just take the net, the overall.
Okay.
Baker Mayfield throws 300 yards in this game. We both said over, and it was under. He threw for under 300 at 281 passing yards. Shimanek throws for 300. We both said over. Yes, he did at 322. OU outgains Tech by 100 yards in this game. We both said over, and it was 180. So they did outgain us by at least 100. 6 rushing attempts for Nisby. I said under. You said over. He got 4 carries, so it was under. I think I kind of. We both did not great, but I did better on this one. Let's see. 70 total points scored in the game. We both said over. It was 76 points, and Micah was shaking his head when we said that, but somehow it ended up being over 70 points. 4 total sacks in this game. I said over. You said push. It was under. We both.
Was there 2? One for each team?
I want to say 2.
I know Baker got sacked once, but I don't remember.
Yeah, I want to say 2 total.
Okay.
I forgot to write that down. Tight end Mark Andrews gets you'll like this one. Tight end Mark Andrews gets a touchdown and 80 yards in this game. So it was under. We both said over. He got 79 yards in this game with a touchdown. He was 1 yard shy of meeting that requirement.
Blast beyond measure.
Kiki Cutie has a 2-touchdown, 120-yard game. We both said over. It was under. He had 93 yards and 1 touchdown, which is still a pretty darn good game.
Oh, for sure.
I'll take 93 yards and a touchdown.
But
for
really,
all of our
Cutie with
receivers.
his talent and speed, he should be over 100 every game. That's
yeah,
just me.
And they missed a potential one to give him another one.
Right.
So Drew, you got 3 out of 10. I got 5 out of 10.
Sorry percentage, but it's fine.
I mean, yeah, we're both failing at this pretty bad. Okay, so this is reviewing our keys to the game and our recipe for victory. So I'm going to say my keys, and these are kind of opinions whether I think we did, because it was kind of like some of them were arbitrary. It's really hard to tell. Start fast. This one wasn't. We definitely did. We scored 20 first quarter points. We definitely need to keep that going. Cover running backs. I'm going to say no, we didn't, because we did allow 336 yards rushing, which is ridiculously high. Sack Baker Mayfield. Sack Baker Mayfield. Well, technically we did once.
Yes, for sure.
But I wouldn't say that covers my key to the game, like consistently.
Right. And besides that, there wasn't much pressure on him at all this game.
I don't know. I'll give myself 2 out of 3 because we technically sacked him once, but
Look at who's been in the rules this time. No, I'm kidding.
You know what? I'll go 1 out of 3 if that makes you feel better. Drew, your keys, and you can paraphrase them if you want. These are what I think you said.
Okay.
Contain Baker Mayfield.
Yes.
We did keep him in the pocket for most of the game.
Yes,
he wasn't a running threat for most of the game.
There wasn't as many magical plays as I used to see.
This one might make you sad. Cover the run game. No, they got 336 rushing yards, but they did a lot of stuff off tackle.
And that's without P. Ryan and Mixon also.
Yeah, well, they did a lot of stuff off tackle because the middle was blocked up for a good chunk of the game, so they were getting around the edge. So it was the edge problem rather than the middle. Competent secondary is what I got for another one. You said I just want a competent secondary.
It wasn't bad.
I would say they're not terrible.
Right.
The problem was more with stopping the run in this game.
Yes,
I mean, Baker took a bunch of shots down the field.
Because I mean, if you have half those running yards that they did, it's a whole different ball game.
Yeah, that's for sure. I mean, gosh, 336. That sounds like the Tech defense that we expected.
That sounds like our passing attack on a good day.
Exactly. maybe around that number that we hope on average. And then time of possession, we lost the time of possession, and so I'll say no on that one as well. So you're about 2 out of 4. We're basically around the same. We still suck
regardless.
We are not calling these right. Okay, so hot takes. Not supposed to nail these, but I nailed one, maybe 2. I got 2. I nailed one. Shimonix silences the haters in this game with a 4-touchdown, 1 interception game.
Yeah, he certainly did in the first half.
I said nailed it because it was exactly that. However, I was expecting the run game to be the other 4 touchdowns scored, and run game had 0 touchdowns.
I mean, we scored 20 in the first quarter, then we scored 7 the rest of the game. That's it's fine.
Let me see how I can go through this. Okay, Quan Short's breakout game, not really.
Yeah.
Trey King shows he can be an every down back.
Yes.
But unfortunately, the criteria is that 120 plus yards.
Oh,
he was close at 113, but you know what? That's good enough. I'll take that.
Look at UT just putting standardized testing on the people. Gosh dang it, subs. That was a joke. That was a John joke. That was
an inside joke.
Inside joke to the masses. What's better than that?
I don't want to look at this one, but Tech will hold Oklahoma under 100 yards rushing through 3
no,
quarters.
we can just go right over that. Don't even talk about it.
Cutting over it.
Okay.
Tech's defense has a big fourth quarter sack on Mayfield. Eli Howard did get a sack in the second quarter, but that was the only sack for Tech, so I'll go no. Healthy Douglas Coleman. Didn't really even see Douglas Coleman. Interception, anything like that. Kiki Cutie catches a 70.
Who had the pick?
It was Justice Parker.
That's what I thought. My cousin.
Your not cousin.
My not biological, not same race cousin.
That we had to make sure that.
It's fine.
Anyway.
We're just going to blow over that also.
Yes, we should. Probably. So the other one I did get right was Kiki catches a 70-plus yard touchdown in this game and makes the defender look like a fool. And he did catch that slant early, and it was exactly 70 yards to the house. And so it does meet the criteria.
Yeah.
He catches a 70-plus yard touchdown. Drew, do you remember your hot takes? I have them.
No, I have. I know. I said Baker will be knocked off the Heisman Big Board, but I think he's still in the. He's not going to win it, but he's still in the conversation.
Yeah, I think he's still in the conversation. That was the first one.
And I don't remember the other ones.
You said OU would not cover the spread, and it was 20, and they ended up winning by 21. So they technically covered 22. The spread. And I hate Vegas 22. For that.
Do math, John.
Was it 22?
49 to 27.
49. Oh, yeah, 22. Good.
Sorry, I didn't mean to call you out there.
No, you're good. You're right. I'm going to fix that.
And you're a dang teacher. No, it's fine.
Elementary. Hold rushing attack for 120 yards all game. That was your other one. We said, okay, we'll hold OU to 120 all game.
Okay, let's go with that.
And that was painful to see.
Yeah, I'm just going to keep glossing over that stat real quick. Okay.
Yeah, we should not give an over under on their rushing attack.
Never. It's so hard to pin.
Yeah, because any game could be huge or small. Especially with OU's O-line. That can do anything. Okay, so this is reviewing our OU score predictions. Do you remember your score prediction?
Yes, I do. I don't remember what score I had, but I know I do remember. I had 38-35 OU.
Yes. You had 38-35 OU. You're 11 off for OU, 8 off for Tech, 19 total points off. Which feels like a lot, but when it's a game like that.
No.
My prediction is crazy. I thought I had 49, but I had 45 to 28. So I was 4 off for OU and 1 off for Tech. 5 total points off.
Look at you,
I was really close.
Taking me to school, I'm gonna do as many teacher jokes as I can for the rest of this podcast, which hopefully won't be too much longer.
Works for me. All good. All right. So this. Oh, yep, there we go. This is Kansas State preview notes. Oh, we gotta get up early
that is freaking loud in my
again.
ear.
Yeah, sorry, that was louder than I expected. Okay, so Kansas State preview notes. What do you got?
Win. I mean, really though.
What can you tell me about this game?
Well,
first of all, it's 11 a.m. game. It's on FS1. We already went over those. Tech is favored.
And again, 11 a.m. games are harder for the home team.
They suck.
Especially
when it gets colder too.
Oh yeah.
3.5 point favorites last time I checked. Even in the morning, they gave us the favor, which is pretty nice.
Which Kansas State plays conservative. They don't turn the ball over. They have a run game that will just pound you down the throat. That was a weird way to say that.
They have a very consistent and good run game.
They're I think in terms of. Are you laughing at that?
Yes.
Screw you.
Dude, that's not the way to say that.
Okay. Ow, it hurt. I think that our good is better than K-State's good, but our bad is worse than their bad. I think their average play is higher than our average play, and more consistent as well.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, they are very consistent.
Yes.
And so I think we're getting screwed over big time because the Baylor game next week set at 11 a.m. as well.
I wish I could watch that day. I don't know why I'm saying that, but I wish I could watch that game.
No. I'm saying the Baylor game. Oh, you mean in person? The Baylor Texas Tech game?
No, the Baylor. Oh no, I meant the Baylor Kansas game this week.
Yeah, that's this week.
Okay.
Sorry. So the next week after this week, we play Baylor, and they've already set the time at 11 a.m., which is stupid. We keep getting 11 a.m.s.
If TCU is not a night game, I will riot down the streets.
That would. I mean, at least an afternoon game, and I really hope for
at least 2:30.
And I mean, it's
please.
And this next week's Baylor game is at a. It's at Jerry World, man. Why would you waste that on 11 a.m.? All the people that want to travel in from Lubbock or want to meet their families.
I think we just start a petition and we get the home game back because I would love to see another home game.
Yeah,
really
the home away series.
Oh yeah, I would love to see another. I would love to see go back to being at Baylor and being at Tech because I get the money grabbing, but I just want another home game. That's just my selfishness. But what do I
mean, Tech has shown more explosive offense as well in that stadium, so. I don't know. It's pretty cool for me. But it is one of those kind of potentially sore spots with the way the season has gone, plus the 11 a.m. game. I mean, you got to win to show. Okay, so this is some pretty cool stuff. Both teams have 4-4 record on the year, and they're both desperate, as I said, to get that victory. Mm-hmm. I mean, if they do win this game, whatever team wins this game, will need one more to get to a bowl officially.
Which is a huge help.
This game is huge for that.
Because, I mean, if we don't get this win, our only other for sure win is Baylor.
The only other one that looks really good.
I mean, really. If we don't get this game, our bowl hopes are going down the tubes quickly.
And Kansas State, they feel like theirs are as well because they've lost 3 of their last 4.
Right.
With their one win being an unimpressive win over Kansas by 10 points, 30-20.
Which is just that hurts my
soul. And people are like, oh, this K-State team's a pretty good team. Their only 2 victories in conference play are Kansas and Baylor.
I will. I mean, our only win is Kansas.
I mean, they beat Kansas and they beat Baylor. That's it. And so what did you say?
Our only conference win has been Kansas.
Exactly. And so if we play Baylor, we beat Baylor,
for sure.
then it's a toss-up, right? It's a toss. And we beat Kansas by 46. They beat them by 10.
Right.
And that's our only thing that we can kind of
Kansas
hold
State
on
isn't
to.
known to score 50 points, but that's definitely a red flag on Kansas State.
And I don't even know their quarterback situation right now. I tried to look it up, and I can't figure it out. I know Jesse Ertz as a whole leads the team in passing.
He's the go-to in my mind, but I don't know.
But I don't know if he's healthy.
Right.
With 930 yards, 7 touchdowns.
What's wrong with him? Do you know?
I tried to look it up, and I found something from years past. I couldn't find anything.
Bill Snyder is as conservative as it gets, so he's not going to release it. He's going to release just as much as he has to.
Only 7 touchdowns on the year with a QBR of 75 on the year, so it's an okay QBR, but not a lot of touchdowns. I see a few players that we got to really watch. We got to look out for. Alex Barn is their leading running back, 542 yards, 5 touchdowns on 92 carries. Watch him, contain him, do whatever you have to do. They're a heavy run offense against us. That's what they're planning. So definitely watch him.
He's kind of like Zeke Elliott for the Cowboys, to
for their team.
To where when other backs would get 1 yard, he gets 2 or 3.
Exactly. He's the guy that you got to watch there.
Right.
Byron Pringle is their leading wide receiver, 416 yards, 15 receptions, only one touchdown on the season.
Things are going to get chippy with him, am I right? Hey-oh.
Talk about a guy with a chip on his shoulder.
Oh, my gosh. Okay.
Okay, but definitely keep an eye on him. He's a guy, at the beginning of the season, I thought Kansas State was going to be very good with Jesse Ertz and Byron Pringle. That combination I thought was going to be very explosive.
I never expect K-State to be good because no matter what they do, they always end up in the middle of the pack.
Yeah, and I went to the bowl game against A&M last year.
Right.
And watching Byron Pringle just break free and get a super long touchdown and really take the momentum that took them on to the victory in that game made me really think Kansas State had all the momentum coming into the season. And one player we need to watch out for, maybe the most, is DJ Reed. I mean, as a position player, he's a defensive back, but he is an explosive punt returner. Right. Maybe the fastest guy on the team. And, it's so hard to keep him from burning you.
Since non-conference play, we haven't shown the ability to punt well.
And it scares me because of how disciplined. Yeah. For me, I think that a return game and a good special teams is all discipline.
We've had decent punts, but we haven't had the stick 'em in the 10 kind of punts.
Yeah, we haven't had that since the Arizona State game.
Right.
We haven't had that kind of punting, and so that's scary. DJ Reed is a guy that we need to contain. I don't care if on every kickoff we kick a touchback to keep him out of the game because he's the kind of guy that will burn you if given the chance. And I think he has 2 on the season already, 2 kick returns for a touchdown. Their passing offense, this will make you feel a little better, is ranked 107th with 174.9 yards per game. I don't even know if they're on their first, second, or third string quarterback. We don't know that because last game their third string was playing.
You know what?
Third string.
I was iffy on this game, and my score prediction might mirror that as well. But what you're saying makes me feel good.
And
or at least better.
And so with that, they score 31.9 points per game, which is ranked 43rd. 31.9 on average. It's much better than you expect with that passing offense, but their rushing attack is ranked 33rd nationally at 199.5 yards per game, and that shows that that's their strength. And,
going into the OU game, I would say that the only identity we had was our defense was good at stopping the run, but that didn't show against OU. So
that can be an anomaly in Norman at night.
True, that is true. So I don't know.
After playing so many 11 a.m. games, being 7 p.m. at night, your defense just might be caught off guard, and plus the middle still looked pretty solid. It looked like the edge were the problem. And with a team that has a weaker passing attack, you might be able to suck in a little bit more. And with a team like OU that has that receiving core, you're kept honest on your coverage, not on guarding the flanks on the runs. So. Yeah, and like every really good coach team with Bill Snyder and the Snidey Cats, their defense allows 23.5 points a game, which ranks 44th in the nation. Always a solid defense.
Did you just say the Snidey Cats?
Snidey Cats. I heard that somewhere, and it just came out in the middle of that sentence.
You should unhear that because that's bad.
Is it bad?
I'm just kidding.
Anyway, this one looks pretty even across the board. And I just really hope that we can finally put together more of a complete game.
Right.
I'm not saying that we're going to have a complete game, all 4 quarters, destroying anything like that.
I'm crossing fingers right now.
I really hope that we put together more of a complete game. And here's what I'm going to close it unless you have something else you want to say on this game.
I'm good.
All right. #TTVE. I think I might bring that sign to the game. It's important. It's imperative. I'm going to say this. It's imperative that we manifest the mental fortitude to grind out a win against a disciplined Kansas State team.
We freaking better. We somehow lost our edge over the last 3 weeks. We need to bring back the same edge that we had against Arizona State. Simple as that.
Yes. We need some confidence. I don't know how we're going to get it.
Our knife is dull. We got to bring back the sharpener and go through them like butter. That was a horrible metaphor as well.
I really hope that we dominate in many facets of the game and that their discipline might keep them in the game, but I hope that that Tech shows that mental fortitude that I was talking about, the Texas Tech versus everybody mentality, which I just pray doesn't include our own fans. That so many of us have turned on our team and said,
I'm expecting a very low attendance rate, but that's just me.
I think I am as well.
Yeah.
All right, so it's time for probably my favorite segment, which is Fun Facts About OU. Oh my gosh, I wrote OU. I need to fix that.
We're not
about the team we're
all.
playing, K-State. Good. Okay.
Snotty cats, apparently.
It's hard to eat when you live in the Little Apple. So every day is a grind to the core. That was just some puns I had to throw in there for you.
My gosh, that was perfect.
Okay, I wanted to start with some history. and we're running a little longer on time than we expected, so I'm gonna try to go through it a little faster. So Kansas State started out in the year 1863, 2 years after Kansas actually became a state. It was called Kansas State Agricultural College, and it makes it the third oldest college in the conference after, surprisingly, Baylor and Iowa State. It's pretty old
that really
school.
screwed Baylor, didn't it?
They were called the Aggies for a while. I'll just
Bad
go
jokes.
on. But I'm really glad they changed from the Aggies to the Wildcat in the year 1915. The campus sits on 668 acres and has many historical buildings because any school that old would, of course, such as Dickens Hall, which is their statistics building. It's just one of those really classic old-looking buildings.
What the Dickens?
Their official school song is called Alma Mater, a very generic name fitting from a seemingly very generic school. So that's what I have to say about that. Their school song is literally...
Even their alma mater title is conservative. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, everything a part of it. So Bill Snyder, because he's so old, he has to be part of their history. And technically part of their present as well. Bill Snyder is a part of their current team and also their history. Born in the 1930s, Bill Snyder first coached at Kansas State in the year 1986. He's in the College Football Hall of Fame already.
Hold on. What year was it? You said 1930s. Was he born in 1930 or just the 1930s?
1939, I believe.
Okay.
And so he's born in the
that's a little better.
He was born in the 1930s technically.
You're right.
I mean, he already's in the College Football Hall of Fame. He has a record of 206, 109, and 1. I have no clue what game they tied. But he 200, 100, over 200 wins, over 100 losses. That's a long time to be a coach at K-State.
To survive in the Big 12, too. That's a long time. Or, whatever it was called.
Yeah,
back then.
whatever conferences he's been through
Right.
since it's changed so many times. He's one of few people to have a stadium named after him that is currently coaching. I saw 5 others, but I didn't recognize any of them other than Bear Bryant.
I know that the Big 12, obviously it's the Big 12 now, and it was the Southwest Conference back then. But I think before that it was a border conference, and I don't know if he was a coach. I would be really curious to see if he was a coach during the border. I mean, obviously we can look this up later, but I'd be curious to see if he coached in the border conference era. But anyway, you can go ahead.
Yeah, I'm sure he coached somewhere in that era. Let's see. Bill Snyder Family Football Stadium was named after he retired from coaching in 2005, but of course he came back after Kansas State fell apart without him. He's one of the 5 coaches that ever has the stadium name named after it. So speaking of Bill Snyder, he's a part of the reason for their logo. I don't know if you knew that. That Power Cats logo. In the year 1989...
What is their logo? Oh, okay.
It's the not their hand sign, the purple cat looking logo.
Gotcha. I'm sorry.
In the year 1989, Bill wanted the new logo for their school, and so I think he got an art teacher at the school to make it for him, make the current Power Cat logo, which I have to say it looks pretty cool.
Yeah,
I think that
agree.
fierce side cat, and it's really cool. The side angle of the portrait of the cat's face of a wildcat. Slash bobcat is, I guess, the technical real animal for the wildcat. I don't know how that works. Other fun facts. Their official color is royal purple. I just imagine that, like, Bill Snyder being carried in as a king into the stadium. They have a purple ice cream tradition on campus dating back to the 1960s. It sells by the half gallon.
Ooh, purple drink.
And it sells for...
That's the melted version.
That's way too not conservative enough. They wouldn't go for
right.
It. It sells 64,000 half gallons per year on average.
What's in it? Is it just vanilla that's colored purple?
You know, I looked it up and they said only like someone on campus has the official like recipe, and they don't really have the official recipe. I'm sure they have most of what's in it. I'd be curious to see
what it's most like. In terms of the actual branding.
I didn't find that. I looked it up, and it didn't really give me much more than that. Their K-State's enrollment's about 22,000, quite a bit smaller than Texas Tech's, but still a pretty large school. 22,000 is no tiny school. You're going to think this is crazy. Their acceptance rate is 94%. 94%. What the heck? Like,
oh my gosh.
If I were to get rejected from this school...
That's older than the coach. Boom.
That's about the same age as the coach.
I had a joke and you did it better. It's fine.
No, I was trying to clarify to make sure I got it right.
Oh, okay.
I caught your joke. But if I got rejected from this school out of high school, I'd feel so sad.
I kind of want to apply just to see.
If you did, I apologize on this podcast. If you got rejected from K-State, I apologize.
Micah, no kidding.
All right, famous alumni. I just found some guys that are in the NFL now because I thought that would be pretty cool. So, NFL running back Darren Sproles plays for the Eagles. Wide receiver Jordy Nelson plays for the Packers.
Wow. Okay.
Defensive back Terrence Newman for the Vikings. And more recently, wide receiver Tyler Lockett for the Seahawks.
For our listeners, if Terrence Newman rings a bell, he was just recently on the Cowboys secondary. So just want to clarify that. If you're wondering why we said Vikings instead of Cowboys, he got.
Yeah, I was wondering why that sounded familiar.
Right.
Okay. And my favorite segment of the fun facts is about their mascot. Their mascot is called Willie the Wildcat. His history goes back to 1947, and by the 1960s, you see cartoon depictions of him, and they started to circulate and become popular. Before they had Willie, they started with a black Labrador.
Before they had a Willie, am I right?
They started with a black Labrador named Roscoe from 1906 to 1909. That's ridiculously long
I like
ago.
the name Roscoe. That's fine.
This is pretty cool. Dating back to 1922, they had an actual bobcat named Touchdown. That was their mascot for a while, which for obvious reasons and the dangers and the who knows if they're endangered and all that stuff. They don't have that anymore. Willie the mascot is known to do push-ups when K-State scores and to crowd surf occasionally. He wears the uniform of the corresponding sport. So if they're playing football, he wears football pads or whatever that is. Always with the big head he has. And the push-ups are pretty impressive when you consider that giant oversized head weighs 11 pounds.
Oh my gosh!
Can you imagine trying to carry that around and dance for?
I do that every day. Am I right? Hey-o. It's fine.
So cheesy.
Okay, we can continue. Okay.
All right, it is time for rapid fire questions. All right, Drew, you ready for them?
Oh yeah, we're good.
All right. Does Tech actually come ready to play for this game?
Yes.
And what I mean by that is 10 first quarter points.
Yes.
Yes, I'm going to say yes as well. Do we see a special teams touchdown in this game?
No.
I said no as well. Do we see Dominic Panazzolo, our punter, kick a ball inside the 10?
Yeah.
I say yes as well. We're even so far. Will Nick Shimonek have more passing yards than Jesse Ertz? And that was the guy who I thought was going to be a quarterback, but whoever plays quarterback
we'll
for
just
Kansas
insert
State.
him into this question. Right?
Yeah, for said quarterback.
Yes.
I say yes as well.
Way to be a copy Wildcat, am I right? Hey-o. It's fine.
Will Kansas State have more rushing yards than Texas Tech in this game?
Yes.
I'm going to say no on that one. Does Trey King have over 120
Yes.
yards rushing on this day? You say yes?
No hesitation there, yes.
I say yes as well. But Stockton may be back, so that may affect it. Does TJ Vasher lead the team in reception yards in this game?
No, because I think Cutie does. Cutie, sorry.
Dude, I swear, I already have that written down. Yes, I agree 100%. Cutie does as well. Does Tech get a touchdown on their first possession? First offensive possession. Yes, I'm going to go yes as well.
Let's go, John. Make me happy.
Do they make their first extra point on the first touchdown?
Oh, God bless me. Sure, why not?
Yes, I agree. Yes, that's good. Will Tech be perfect on extra points this game?
No.
I'm going to go with yes.
Yeah, because I'll be there. Am I right? No, I'm kidding.
You'll jump in. You know what that means. It is time for over-under questions.
These are my worst. It's fine. I love this segment, but I'm so bad at it.
All right, OU. Over, under.
You gotta stop
I
doing
keep writing OU there, and so I should just completely delete those and just write
Are you
the
sure it
words.
doesn't say for over, under?
Over, under. Yes,
Right,
that is what I meant to say. 60 total points in this game. 60 total points.
My prediction means it's over. So over.
I have over as well, and I don't know. It's hard to say, but I'm going to go over because I put it 60, not 70. 160 yards passing for Kansas State.
That's not much, so I'm going to go over.
I'll go under on that one. Over under 2 total turnovers in this game.
Over.
I'm gonna go over as well. There wasn't a ton, so
I
that's
said
why
it,
said that.
and then my gut told me push, but I'm gonna stay with over.
Okay. 3 total sacks in this game.
Push.
I'm gonna say under. It'll probably be over now that we did that. 200 yards rushing for Tech. 200.
I'm gonna say Oh, I just gave King 120. So I'm gonna say under.
Okay, I'll go over, and I'll think Stockton will make most of the rest of those. Over under 800 total yards in this game. 800. That's not a ton.
Under.
I'm gonna go over.
Okay.
2 second half passing touchdowns for Tech in this game for the first time in a while. Do you think they get 2 second half passing touchdowns?
I'm thinking over.
I'm going over as well. 30 total points in this game at the half. So 60 total.
Oh my gosh.
30 points at the half.
That's not a huge stretch. 30 at the half. Oh, I'd go.
With the way Tech has
If
started.
I was a betting man, which I'm not. That's a lie I am.
Also a compulsive liar. No, I'm not.
That's a hard. I mean, I know this is going with your gut, but it's kind of.
I got my gut.
I would say under, but not by. I know we can't do like a not by much.
Yeah.
I know we're not doing that.
It doesn't give you bonus
but
points.
I think it'll be under.
I'll go under as well. Okay, 70 yards of penalties for Tech in this game.
Oh, please God, be under. I'm gonna say over though.
I'm gonna say under. 50 yards of penalties for K-State in this game.
Over.
Over? I'm gonna go over as well. This game lasts at least 4 total hours. So if it starts at 11, 12, 1, 2.
Hope. I'm gonna say under because I mean, at 11 a.m. games, you're usually home by 3 o'clock.
Yeah, I'm saying under as well. 11 a.m. games do generally go a little faster.
Right.
I don't know why, but they do.
Conspiracies.
We should all have conspiracies about every game. All right, this is Tech's recipe for victory.
Duh. Winning.
Recipe for victory and/or keys of the game. They're basically the same thing, but I wanted to call it
You want
something
me to go
different.
or you got it?
You can start.
Cool. Alrighty. You have to wow, that was a butcher sentence. You have to have at least a decent running presence against K-State in their defense.
Okay, put a stat to it.
Decent means
Are you talking attempts or yards?
150 for the game.
Okay, 150. Cool.
Which makes you think that my over/under was bad, but it's fine.
That's fine. That's why we're doing this part.
Right. Shimonick needs to get back to his normal sort of performance, and I think he will, and you're gonna see what that is.
Yeah.
Over 300 yards.
300 yards.
Which he
Is
had
there
that
a
against.
touchdown
He
limit?
had that against OU, but in terms of like a winning performance as well.
All right, is there a touchdown amount or just 300 yards?
If I had to put a number on, I'd say 4 touchdowns.
4 touchdowns, 300 yards. We'll set it there.
Again, which is
very-
because I
very possible.
literally just said over on the second half touchdowns, which was 2. So
Yeah.
everything is contradicting itself, but whatever.
Maybe not. Might be good.
And then I didn't get the call for a kicker, so I hope Barton or Hatfield better frickin' show up.
Do they have to be perfect?
No, but they can't be the reason why we lose.
Okay, I got you. So if we lose by 1 or something.
Right. And last one is take advantage of turnovers. I feel like I've said this every week, but K-State plays a very conservative style of ball on both sides.
Yeah, if you get that turnover, you better make it count.
So you have to take advantage of the opportunities that are given to you.
At least a touchdown off the next possession?
Yeah.
1? Okay. Cool. Bless you.
Thank you. Okay, we're good. I'm done now.
That's a great sneeze sound. That needs to be like an audio clip.
Because we're allergic to bullcrap, am I right? Hey-o.
Okay, do you have any other
That's it for me.
keys? All right, so here's mine. Special teams execution. Don't allow any punt or kick returns for a touchdown.
Okay.
I'm saying that. Make field goals and extra points, and I'm saying all of them. So every chance you get at a field goal and an extra point, make them count.
If I ever thought I'd say that, it's almost like a hot take, and that's kind of sad. But whatever.
So originally I had my second hot take recipe for victory, the one I get mixed up all the time. Contain their quarterback. Originally I had Jesse Ertz, but I'm not sure if it'll be Skylar Thompson, their third string, or Delton, the second stringer, who had really struggled before Skylar Thompson came in. And I believe there's injuries across that room. So don't let whoever's in beat you with their legs. I know all of them have some sort of rushing ability. One-dimensional K-State will struggle a ton. If you can hold them and force them to...
Wait, are you calling them a running team more than a one-dimensional running team? Or
Yes,
what
I'm saying they're one-dimensional running.
Gotcha,
They struggle so much passing that if we do that, we will... Yeah, that's a key to victory. Finish the game if you have a second-half lead. And what I mean by this is actually... Like you said in that Penn State game, don't play not to lose, play to win. And what I mean by that is take shots down the field on first downs. Like when you get that momentum, when you get that first down, go for it. You have nothing to lose. Just go for it. I mean, obviously you do, but if you had the lead. But, I mean, that's the way you win a game.
Right.
Is you continue to do what works. If it's running, then run. If it's slant routes, then do the slants. If it's go routes, just take them all day. Like, you'll miss a few. Of course you will. But, like, overall, some of those plays are big payoff plays.
It's going to drop eventually, right?
Yeah, for sure. Like, he's not a terrible long ball thrower. We were so spoiled with our long ball throw with Mahomes last year.
If you're done, I got one more if you're done.
Yeah, jump in.
Okay. I want to see a fast second half start, which we have not seen for a while, except unless you're talking about Kansas, which hasn't that hasn't been for a while.
It's a little different.
And every team seems to be able to find adjustments, make adjustments, and execute them well. I want to see Tech do that. If it's a close game at halftime, I want to see us be able to make changes on our defense and offense over halftime.
Halftime adjustments are key.
Right. And we haven't shown the ability or the capacity to implement them yet.
Okay, so you want the differential to be similar in the first and second half.
I want us to see a clear change of process in the second half.
Okay, so how about let's say
OU, we scored 20. We scored what was it? We scored 20 in the first half, and then we scored 7 in the second half. I want to see a start difference like that.
So I'll ask you next week if you think that we met that requirement. But right now, it is time for hot takes. Man, takes are so hot. No.
So y'all should have seen John doing that. That was really funny.
Yeah, it was kind of goofy because I was trying to stay close to the mic, but also trying to be dramatic. Okay, so my one for this is Tech rushes the ball for 300-plus yards in this game. That's a freaking hot take.
Good
We're going to have to run our butts off to do 300 yards.
I need to back up from the mic because I think it's just about to burn me over here.
Ooh, burn. Tech wins the time of possession by 5 whole minutes. 35 minutes possession to 25 for K-State. And of course, if you run the ball really well, you will get that time of possession. And so I'm saying we win it by 5 minutes, which is pretty spicy.
John, do you have a fever? Because you're pretty hot. Oh, that was going to be weird if I would have said that, but I said it anyway.
It's getting warm.
I'm
these
so sorry for my
takes are burning up.
Awkwardness and my sexual harassment.
Yeah, we'll see you later. Next QBR, this is pretty cool too. It would be 10 points higher than K-State's QBR, no matter
I don't think that's too hot, but okay.
I don't know, man. Let's see. Tech holds their best wide receiver, Byron Pringle, to 80 yards on the game.
Okay.
Holding their best receiver to 80 yards on the game. And I'll say no touchdowns.
Wow. That's surprising.
And no touchdowns. I'm up in the ante because this is hot takes. All right. Do you have any hot takes just off your top of your head?
Yeah. Every single... Okay, I don't want to say every single because that's a very qualitative statement.
Just about.
Most of the Fire Cliff narratives will be thrown out the window after this game. Yes, we will only be 5-4, and we'll have 2 out of 3 games left. Will be challenging, but I think that after this game,
just about all of them,
people's willingness to cut the cord with Cliff will be not smothered. The
haters will be quieted quite a bit on this, and so yeah, I agree. There's no way to measure that, but at the same time, I think
you'll measure it by how much you win by. Because of the confidence of the win.
On every single Texas Tech post.
Right.
The immediate negative comments. But, winning cures a lot.
Right.
Winning cures a lot of frustrations from fans. And so that will be huge.
I don't know. I think Cantrell has another clutch game. Not in terms of yards, but in terms of, big catches and big
They really haven't given him tons of chances recently.
Other than that, I'm not very good at hot takes, but that's all I got for now.
Golly. Okay. Cool. All right, it is time for score predictions.
Alrighty.
Well, no, I don't know. Most of the time I say there's going to be a lot of touchdowns in this game, but
and then there's not. But yeah.
So yeah, I want to hear your score prediction.
Of course you do. I'm always first. No, I'm kidding. We're like a bad married couple.
It helps me. It helps me edit it later to hear your ones first.
Texas Tech 42.
Okay.
Kansas State 31.
You have 42-31.
Yep. I think, to me, that's a solid win.
That would quiet a lot of haters.
Our defense allows more points than I'd like them to, but I think Shimenek gets back to his usual brilliance, or his early season brilliance, should I say.
Oh, so a lot of that first beginning of the season, where we're like, wow, Šimanek is not a beat down from Mahomes, you know.
So I mean, a solid win. Yeah, I'll just stop it there because I could talk
that would be
a lot
nice.
longer. Yeah.
Okay, so this is so painful to say. My heart says, and so this is off the official answer. I'm gonna say 35-31 Tech, but I'm gonna say Tech wins. However, like I said at the beginning of the season, I'm sticking with my preseason predictions.
That shocks me that you had them as a loss back then, but that's just me.
Well, that's the thing with Ertz as a senior, with Byron Pringle as a breakout player, and an overall really good team that destroyed A&M in that bowl last year. I thought that the momentum was going to be enough to really bring a lot of hope into the season, that they would probably be an 8 or 9 win team before the season started. Now, of course, TCU's kind of taken the place of where I thought Kansas State would be, and Kansas State flipped with TCU for where I thought they would be. And so now, here it comes. Not good. No, okay.
Just do it.
I'm going to do it. Okay, I'll say 37-38 K-State.
What the garbage?
And I hate this because my heart believes Tech can win, but I'm sticking with the preseason.
What's up with this dang 1-point loss? You're making my butt pucker again.
It's been repuckered.
Ew, John.
Okay,
never say that again. Please never utter that sentence again.
Okay, deal. If you never say the butt puckered one, I'll never have to say that again. I really expected Pringle and Ertz to be this dynamic duo, this combo that they had with Lockett and whoever their quarterback was way back then. Really, okay, here's what it is. No further comments. My heart is hurting for my prediction. That is all.
Alrighty. Well, with that being said, we're sorry we ran a little long, but I think it was a content-filled podcast regardless.
We had fun, and we hope you did too.
Which, boy, I hope, because I don't know who would listen to us. It was fine.
Thank you so much.
We're brought to you by Blue Apron. I'm not going to run longer than this, but if you want to know more about them, rewind to the start of the podcast. You can find us on iTunes, SoundCloud, Facebook, John's YouTube page. We'll go and plug that real quick.
Yep, John Sterrett, Texas Tech. Look it up.
And if the game's 11 a.m., anybody's interested, come by 2420 15th Street. That is the Wesley Foundation. I assume 9 o'clock. That's our usual tailgate time for early games.
That's probably when they're going to do it. Probably some breakfast.
Other than that, let's get a freaking win for once in our lives.
I agree. Despite what I said about the score prediction, it's time to get a win.
You're garbage.
It's time to do it.
Yes. Amen. Other than that, we will talk to y'all next week. Wreck 'em. That was good.
What's up? What's the score?
Oh! Wait, bottom what? It's only bottom second? Are you serious?
Is that the actual score?
5-0 right now.
Wait, who's winning?
Astros.